I plan on getting married again.
You do?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah,
And having kids?
absolutely.
For years, Katie Holmes stayed silent about her whirlwind romance and high-profile marriage to Tom Cruise. Now, at 45, she's finally ready to break that silence and reveal the truth behind their relationship. What really happened during their time together? Stay tuned as we reveal to you the hidden details behind one of Hollywood's most talked-about marriages. Some secrets may surprise you. Background: Katie Holmes and Tom Cruise's relationship. First meeting in April 2005, Katie Holmes and Tom Cruise soon became national news. In previous interviews, Holmes had indicated that she harbored teenage feelings for Cruise. Their relationship seemed to be her ideal come-down. An already A-list actor and worldwide phenomenon, Cruise was ending a relationship with actress Penelope Cruz. One of the most unforgettable events in celebrity culture was their first public outing, when Cruise boldly leapt onto Oprah Winfrey's couch claiming his love for Holmes. With the two inseparable soon after their meeting, this public exhibition of passion prepared the ground for what may have been perceived as a whirlwind relationship. As their love story unfolded before the world, they quickly became Hollywood's most talked-about couple. The media came up with the name Tomcat to describe their well-publicized romance, and soon their passion was all over newspapers and magazines all around. Fans were enthralled with the combination of America's sweetheart with one of the biggest movie stars globally. Every move they made, from their flights to red carpet appearances, was noted and under constant debate. November 2006 saw the two tie the knot in an ostentatious Italian nuptial in a castle from the 15th century. Attending the occasion, some of Hollywood's most well-known figures encouraged media coverage of the couple even further. Their fairy tale-style marriage set off their media frenzy that would follow. The first child of the pair, born in April 2006, was Suri Cruise. Her birth became an international event, with considerable media coverage on the first glimpses of their daughter. Suri became well known immediately, and her appearance only served to intensify the criticism aimed at her parents. Suri's first images appeared on the cover of Vanity Fair months after her birth, sparking wild theories about why they had waited so long to expose her. Though the media circus surrounded them, Holmes and Cruise seemed to embrace parenthood. They would frequently be spotted adoring their daughter at public occasions. While Suri's birth captivated the public, another aspect of their relationship stirred ongoing discussions, namely their significant age difference. With Cruise in his early 40s and Holmes just beginning her late 20s, Tom Cruise and Katie Holmes had a 16-year age difference. The public and media started talking about this age difference, since many people speculated on the power relations in their relationship. While some praised Holmes for transcending age in search of love, others saw the young, fresh-faced starlet caught by an older, more experienced Cruise. Still, the subject was a hot topic for conjecture and gave the already convoluted story of their relationship still another level of complexity. Katie Holmes's early life and career. Born December the 18th, 1978, in Toledo, Ohio, Katie Holmes grew up in a close-knit Catholic family with 4 siblings. She was quite intellectual and involved in school productions as a child, but her road to Hollywood started to take shape only after she attended a modeling and talent convention in New York City at the age of 16. She was naturally in front of the camera and soon drew casting agencies' notice. Her major break came when Holmes got the Joey Potter part on the teen drama Dawson's Creek, which ran from 1998 to 2003. Her performance of the brilliant, tomboyish Joey made her well known and qualified her as one of Hollywood's next stars. As Dawson's Creek launched her into the forefront, her early career started to take shape quickly. Holmes had started creating an outstanding filmography before meeting Cruise. She proved her ability to adopt several parts in both mainstream and indie films by starring in movies such as Go, The Gift, and Wonder Boys. Her part in The Gift saw her present a more adult and darker character, signifying her want to stray from her adolescent TV star image. Holmes was valued for her commitment and early in her career flexibility. She was a well-known player in young Hollywood by the early 2000s, juggling her still-running Dawson's Creek obligations with her film career. As Katie's career gathered steam, her friendship with Tom Cruise would shortly change her Hollywood path. Once Holmes developed romantic feelings for Tom Cruise, her professional achievements were sometimes obscured by the great public attention paid to their relationship. Projects like Batman Begins let her taste of blockbuster glory, but her part as Rachel Dawes was reinterpreted after she turned down the chance to be in the sequel supposedly to concentrate on her personal life with Cruise. Her participation in well-known movies dropped, and many insiders in the business thought that her professional choices were limited in part by her friendship with Cruise and his affiliation with Scientology. Holmes stayed busy in Hollywood, but the projects she worked on were significantly less noteworthy than they had been years ago. As Katie settled into her new life with Cruise, her personal life took the stage over her career. Tom Cruise's public persona and Scientology. Tom Cruise was already a Hollywood heavyweight with a more than two-decade career when he met Katie Holmes. Through legendary roles in movies like Top Gun, Jerry Maguire, and the Mission Impossible series, Cruise had become a household name, therefore confirming his reputation as one of the most bankable performers in the world. His appeal, mixed with his great commitment to his trade, made him a popular person in the business. His public profile was not without controversy, though. While still riding high in his career in the early 2000s, Cruise's off-screen persona grew even more entangled with his participation in Scientology, which started to garner media attention and change public impressions. As Cruise's popularity kept skyrocketing, his relationship to Scientology would become ever more important in his life. Since the late 1980s, Tom Cruise has been among the most well-known supporters of Scientology, a divisive faith developed by science fiction writer L. Ron Hubbard. Early in the 2000s, at the height of Cruise's popularity, his public support of Scientology became rather clear. His affiliation with the religion was well known, especially following his well-publicized conversation with Matt Lauer on Today Show, where he fiercely supported Scientology's position on drugs and psychiatry. For Cruise, Scientology was a way of life rather than only a belief system. He credited the group for many of his achievements. Although he was a regular member of the Church of Scientology, there were reports that he had intimate ties to high-ranking executives inside the group, therefore transcending his mere membership. Cruise's ties to Scientology grew stronger, and his personal connections clearly changed as a result, particularly in his marriage to Holmes. Widespread rumors from the start claimed that Cruise's connection with Holmes was shaped in great part by Scientology. Though initially not involved in the faith, members of the church were allegedly involved in choosing possible mates for Cruise, and Holmes was also attracted into the doctrines soon after they started dating. With tales of domineering behavior and church members in their personal life, speculation developed that Cruise's dedication to Scientology caused conflict in their marriage. Friends and relatives of Holmes allegedly worried about her welfare, and over time the media assumed that her desire to distance herself and her daughter Suri from the church had a major impact on her choice to leave Cruise and seek divorce. Holmes's sudden relocation to New York and quick divorce settlement stoked speculations that she aimed to free herself from Scientology's strong hold. The part Scientology played in their breakup became a constant source of fascination as the globe watched their marriage fall apart. The divorce, what we know. The world was stunned in June of 2012 when Katie Holmes suddenly declared she was divorcing Tom Cruise following 5 years of marriage. Many people were surprised by the revelation, as there had been minimal public evidence of conflict in their marriage. The pace at which the divorce processes progressed surprised me even more. Holmes and Cruise arrived at a colony in barely 11 days. This remarkable quick resolution drew questions and spurred conjecture regarding the fundamental causes of their separation. Many questioned what drove Holmes to behave so forcefully and how Cruz had been caught off surprise given the rapid turnaround. Holmes's next action caught everyone off guard as the Globe sought to make sense of the abrupt split. Katie Holmes moved covertly to New York City as part of her divorce plan. According to reports, she allegedly arranged her leaving painstakingly, without Tom Cruise knowing. She relocated with her daughter, Suri, into a new Manhattan apartment and promptly started divorce from Cruise. This action seemed to be a well-considered one, meant to keep her and her daughter safe. Insiders said that Holmes wanted to cut links to Cruise's Scientology, which had been a major factor in their marriage. Her move to New York let her flee the close scrutiny of Hollywood and seize control of her and Suri's destiny, free from the influence of Cruise and the Church of Scientology. Holmes's courageous choice to relocate prepared the ground for a court fight defining their split. The custody arrangement for their daughter, Suri Cruise, was among the most important factors of the divorce. According to reports, Holmes requested primary custody of Suri, and this became central focus of the divorce process. The couple's legal teams worked quickly and discreetly to reach an understanding considering the great public interest in them. Ultimately, Holmes was given main custody, while Cruise was allowed visiting privileges. There were rumors that Holmes had insisted on strict rules in the settlement to guard Suri from Scientology, therefore guaranteeing that her daughter would not grow up inside the church. For Holmes, this arrangement was apparently non-negotiable, since she aimed to offer Suri a more normal upbringing free from Cruise's ideas. Once Holmes got Suri under care, her choice to say nothing begged issues regarding the actual basis of their separation. Katie Holmes kept a startling quiet about the specifics of her relationship with Tom Cruise, both during the divorce and in the years following. Many surmised that a non-disclosure provision included in the divorce deal explained Holmes's silence. In well-publicized celebrity divorces, such legal arrangements are not unusual and can restrict what either side can publicly reveal on their marriage and split. Holmes's choice to remain silent might also have been driven by a need to shield Suri from the media frenzy and evade more public criticism. Her silence evolved over time into a distinguishing characteristic of her post-divorce existence, raising numerous unresolved issues concerning the underlying dynamics of her marriage to Cruise. While Holmes decided on silence, their highly public breakup clearly changed Cruise's reputation. Tom Cruise's public image suffered greatly as a result of his divorce. His already strained reputation was further damaged by his very active participation with Scientology. Cruise stayed among the most bankable actors in Hollywood, but the story of his personal life grew increasingly convoluted. Increased scrutiny on Cruise and the church resulted from some supporters and detractors seeing his relationship with Holmes as symptomatic of more general problems with his affiliation with Scientology. The haste and secrecy of the divorce stoked rumors that Holmes had felt imprisoned and yearned to go, which would not have suited Cruise. Notwithstanding these obstacles, Tom Cruise kept flourishing professionally. His personal life stayed a constant shadow over his career, though. The divorce had long-lasting consequences for both Holmes's and Cruise's public identities as she progressed through her life. Katie's life post-divorce. Following her well-publicized divorce from Tom Cruise, Katie Holmes became a single mother and gave Suri, her daughter, first importance. Driven to provide Suri a more normal and private life, Holmes deliberately tried to protect her from the heavy media attention they had attracted throughout her marriage. After moving to New York City, Holmes became quite involved in the neighborhood, routinely walking Suri to school and going to other events. Holmes discussed the need of keeping Suri rooted and imparting compassion and empathy as principles. Though the paparazzi were unrelenting, Holmes has mostly been successful in allowing Suri a quiet, more private life free from Hollywood's limelight. While Holmes concentrated on motherhood, Her career also went a tremendous change that let her redefine herself. Holmes's acting career revived in the years after her breakup from Tom Cruise. She started assuming increasingly varied roles and displaying her range as an actress in movies such as The Giver and Logan Lucky. Holmes also dabbled in directing. Her first work was All We Had, a play with a moving depiction of family hardships that drew criticism. For Holmes, her change to both acting and directing signaled a new chapter as she aimed to distinguish herself outside her past roles. She showed her abilities to take charge of her profession and investigate new creative channels behind the camera. Holmes was also negotiating a very secret and fascinating relationship with another actor throughout her professional rebirth. After divorcing, Holmes started dating actor Jamie Foxx. Their relationship stayed under wraps for several years. Though both Holmes and Foxx were quite reserved and hardly ever appeared together, rumors about the duo began as early as 2013. When they were sighted clasping hands in 2017, verifying years of conjecture, the connection became increasingly public at last. Still, the couple stayed low-key and kept their personal life mostly under the shadow. Although neither Holmes nor Foxx made public, it was claimed by 2019 that their relationship had broken off. Their covert relationship added to the mystery about Holmes's post-divorce existence by highlighting her inclination for solitude. Holmes kept her eye on her own personal development and identity even while her partnership came apart. Katie Holmes has been working on reconstructing her personal and professional identity throughout the last 10 years. She sought to define her life on her own terms after years of living in the shadow of her well-reported marriage and divorce. Embracing her roles as a mother and a director, Holmes has found a new route emphasizing her independence and fortitude. Whether via her artistic endeavors or her commitment to her daughter, Holmes has become a powerful, grounded woman driven to live life truly. Holmes has effectively reinterpreted herself in public by giving personal development top priority and keeping a quiet life. Why did Katie stay silent for so long? The possible existence of a non-disclosure agreement was one of the most often theorized upon causes of Katie Holmes's extended quiet following her divorce from Tom Cruise. Although neither Holmes nor Cruise have stated this, many think that given their quick conclusion of their legal affairs, such an arrangement was part of their divorce settlement. Should the NDA be in effect, Holmes would have been legally limited from sharing particular information regarding her marriage to Cruise, their divorce, and any Scientology participation. NDAs are used in high-profile celebrity divorces to guard public disclosure avoidance and privacy protection for both sides. Even as public interest developed, Holmes's decision to keep quiet about her connection with Cruise may have been influenced in great part by this possible legal restriction. Beyond only legal consideration, Holmes's main focus while her silence was shielding her daughter Suri from more scrutiny. Holmes's quiet might also have been motivated by her need to shield her daughter Suri from the heavy public attention their life attracted. Suri, one of the most well-known celebrity children on Earth, was often the target of paparazzi interest right from infancy. Holmes probably knew that publicizing her divorce or her relationship with Cruise would attract unwelcome attention and rumors that would surely affect Suri's life. Holmes might have been trying to protect her daughter from demands and public invasiveness of such a high-profile scenario by deciding to say nothing. Her acts show her will to give Suri as normal a life as feasible, apart from the turmoil of their past. Holmes used this silence as a time for personal development and healing as she stayed out of the limelight. Katie Holmes's choice to remain quiet following her divorce might have also been a strategy for emphasizing her own recovery and personal development. Holmes seemed to give reconstructing her life on her own terms first priority, following the great media frenzy around her romance with Cruise. Silence helped her to separate herself from the public story that had consumed her marriage. This time for introspection and isolation helped her to sort through her events and come out stronger, personal and professional alike. As Holmes worked on projects that spoke to her creativity and raised Surrey in a more stable surroundings, her quiet turned into a method for recovering her identity. Her quiet was ultimately a means of reconstructing her life free from public or press intervention. Although at first confusing to the public, Holmes's quiet was probably a calculated move to keep her family safe and center her own well-being. Katie Holmes speaks out at 45 what she revealed. Now 45 years old, Katie Holmes has finally broken her silence about her marriage and divorce from Tom Cruise after almost a decade of quiet. Holmes has always been reserved about her personal life, but it seems she has come to feel comfortable telling her side of the story. Her need for closure, her daughter's maturity, and Holmes's own personal development over years could have all had a part in this choice. Holmes is more established both emotionally and professionally at this point in her life. With Surrey being a teenager, the timing felt appropriate to answer the residual questions about her past. Her voice has been waiting for us. Holmes's decision to speak up provides a window into her path to self-discovery. Holmes opened and disclosed fresh information on her connection with Cruise and their ultimate split. Holmes offered some important analysis on her marriage to Tom Cruise, clarifying the elements for their breakup. She said that their relationship, which started with a whirlwind romance, soon became too taxing. As Holmes negotiated life with one of Hollywood's most influential personalities, she recounted feeling lonely and more apart from her own identity. She told how friction in their marriage resulted from Cruise's relentless dedication to Scientology, combined with a great media attention. Emphasizing that she had to meticulously prepare for the sake of her and Surrey's future, Holmes also discussed the tough decision to leave Tom Cruise. It was not an instinctive one. Their divorce, which transpired quickly under heavy media coverage, presented both emotional and logistical difficulties more complicated than the public would have known, and also spoke on the part Scientology played throughout that time. Whether Holmes would discuss Scientology, a major component of her marriage to Tom Cruise, was one of the most expected elements of her disclosures. Holmes has stayed polite, although she has now admitted that Scientology strains their relationship greatly. She spoke of being uneasy about the church's involvement in their life and hinted to worries about Surrey's upbringing in such a regulated setting. Though probably aware of any remaining legal constraints, Holmes stopped short of openly denouncing the church, and her thoughts made it abundantly evident that Scientology's influence was a major deterrent of her decision to seek divorce. Holmes put Surrey's and her own mental health first by deciding to separate herself from the church, therefore enabling them to create a life free from its influence. Apart from talking about Scientology, Holmes also provided analysis on her present co-parenting relationship with Cruise. Regarding her relationship with Tom Cruise today, Holmes spoke frankly about the difficulties of co-parenting Surrey. While Cruise has mostly kept his personal life undercover in recent years, Holmes revealed that their co-parenting relationship is courteous but remote. Reportedly constrained by Cruise's dedication to his business and ongoing Scientology participation, Surrey's time with him has been reduced. Holmes is left to handle much of the parenting duties. Still, Holmes said she wants Surrey to get along with her father, and she is willing to cooperate for the benefit of their daughter. Clearly, though, their lives have changed dramatically after the divorce. When Holmes thought back on her decisions at that period, she revealed how clearly she now saw her former mistakes. Reflecting on the decisions she made during her marriage and divorce from Cruise, Holmes took time to provide a complex view of the trying times in her life. She said she battled great pressure at the time and had questions about whether she was acting morally. Looking back, though, Holmes is glad of the will it required to leave a difficult circumstance and give her daughter top priority. She admitted that although some choices were taken out of need and self-preservation, they finally enabled her to develop into the person she is now. Seeing that every challenging step she took toward recovering her independence and creating a life on her own terms was part of her path, Holmes sees her history as empowering. Holmes has come out with fresh clarity and tranquility, ready to go forward, past behind her. Public and media reactions. When Katie Holmes chose to speak out after years of silence, public reaction differed. Those who had followed her story from her days on Dawson's Creek to her well-publicized marriage and divorce from Tom Cruise were quick to provide support and understanding. Many praised her for her bravery in revealing such a sensitive part of her life. Social media discussions on her revelations made people sympathetic to Holmes, especially considering the details of her marital problems. Many people applaud her for deciding to protect her daughter Suri's privacy over years and give her top priority. Her candor resonated with others who could relate to Holmes's story of reclaiming freedom from leaving a controlling situation. Critics also generally responded well, noting that her honesty offered prospective study of the challenges managing family, job, and personal well-being. As the public processed her revelations, reactions from within Hollywood reflected the complex nature of Holmes's experiences. Hollywood's response to Holmes's decision to speak out was one of muted approval and understanding. Many in the company, especially those who had witnessed the close inspection her relationship with Cruise endured, expressed sympathy for what Holmes had gone through. Public comments were infrequent, but it was clear that friends valued her resiliency and knew the difficulty of her situation. Directors, fellow performers, and producers working with Holmes over the years praised her for her professionalism and ability for career reinventions following a divorce. Hollywood circles had long been fascinated in her relationship with Cruise, particularly in relationship to her involvement in Scientology under hidden cover. Now, many in the company were probably not shocked, but rather appreciative of Holmes's approach as she highlighted such aspects. Her ability to recreate her personal life and career away from the spotlight confirmed her as a strong, focused Hollywood woman. As support for Holmes grew, everyone turned to Tom Cruise to see how he would handle things. Tom Cruise has not reacted thus far in reaction to revelations made by Katie Holmes. Renowned for his tremendous seclusion, especially with relation to his personal life, Cruise has generally refrained from sharing thoughts on problems regarding his marriage and divorce from Holmes. His relationship with Scientology, which was discussed in Holmes's disclosures, still largely shapes his identity. His silence might be seen as part of a more general strategy meant to stifle public church debate. Cruise has always kept such issues private, hence his staff has not released any formal remark, and it is doubtful that he will interact with the media on this subject. Cruise has been primarily focused on his job, but with recent blockbuster triumphs like the Mission Impossible franchise commanding his public persona, although the public might have expected some kind of response from Cruise, his silence fits his long-standing media treatment of personal matters. Holmes's revelations still have impact both inside Hollywood and publicly, while the world awaits for any conceivable reaction. The bigger picture: celebrity marriages, power, and control. Particularly when there is an imbalance of fame and power between partners, celebrity marriages sometimes present special difficulties. In relationships like Katie Holmes and Tom Cruise's, public opinion, media scrutiny, and professional power of one or both people frequently shapes the dynamic. When one partner, like Cruise, demands major influence in Hollywood and beyond, it can lead to a situation whereby the less strong partner feels either overwhelmed or even under control. In such marriages, the more well-known or powerful partner may have a significant impact on all aspects, including public appearances and personal decisions. This power disparity can cause the less well-known partner, Holmes in this case, to struggle to retain their autonomy and identity, a difficulty many in comparable relationships encounter. Often these dynamics result in silence, and how the public understands that silence becomes a topic of inquiry and conjecture. When a woman in a well-publicized marriage stays quiet, especially following a divorce, that silence is sometimes under close examination by the media and public both. Years of silence on her marriage to Cruz were greeted with questions and conjecture. While some saw her silence as evidence of legal restrictions, others saw it as an attempt to safeguard her daughter and her own privacy. Silence is often interpreted as fear or subversion, especially in cases when the more well-known partner shapes the story. But when women like Holmes at last voice, public opinion can change drastically. Many see it as an act of recovering over their personal narrative, power, control, and autonomy. Usually celebrated as a triumph of truth and self-empowerment, the moment sometimes breaks their silence. Holmes's choice to speak captures a more general trend among Hollywood, whereby women are recovering their voices. Holmes's choice to at least tell her story is part of a greater movement among Hollywood, whereby more women are finding the bravery to voice their experiences. Women in the business have changed how they negotiate their public and personal life, from the #MeToo movement to other well-known women sharing their tales of control, violence, and silencing. Breaking her silence, Holmes joins an increasing number of women recovering their stories following years of silence, anxiety, or legal constraints. This more general trend marks a shifting Hollywood culture that supports women to speak their truth, defend themselves, and demand respect both personally and professionally. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more updates. And if you're curious about what happened next, click on the next video for more exclusive details.